Welcome to the Game Corner, another video game podcast. My name is Harrison. You might know me online as Robix, and I'm joined, as always, by friend and co-host.
Oh, Rowan. You might know me as Mocha. I just remembered it was my turn. I finally get to play Reg D. Look, there are other people. It could be their turn. We could talk to Sheldon.
If you're here, you're always next. Okay. We're gonna start this off early. It's super fun. In editing, I get really confused with the pauses for all of our fantastic openings. And it
honest question. How am I supposed to hand off to Sheldon? Am I supposed to just do the "and I am joined by" thing like you did? I feel like I'm just rehashing.
Sure.
We never sorted this out. We never came to an agreement. I just of awkwardly stumbled my way through it 100 times or however many episodes we have.
53. 52?
53, sure.
Okay.
I'm on the same order of magnitude. That sounds right.
So I think our awkwardness, our inability to do an intro or outro, I think that's part of our charm.
Sure, you can call it that. Why
not? Right. Okay.
Charm.
If you're watching on YouTube, let us know if that's what you love about us, is the fact that we just can't do a podcast well. Or if you're on Spotify, maybe I'll remember to make that the question this week, because I super always do those. And we're really good at what we do.
Absolutely.
Which is this.
Professionals. That's something else.
Oh, yeah. So anyway, Regulation D is upon us.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm having so much fun. I'm kind of getting my ass kicked. I'd say 50% of the time, but we're finally getting the hang of it. Finally, getting up to decent ladder rankings, and it's just so fresh and cool. And also, I'm just a degenerate in playing Choice Band and Dragonite. So
not just Pow Knight. You gotta say the whole duo there.
Yeah, Choice Banded, Chen Pao, Dragonite. I've even gone full. I don't want to think about this. I'm going inner focus over multiscale now. I'm back to the classic.
Wow.
I don't want to think about you intimidating me. I don't want to think about you fake outing me. I want to click the button and watch you die, and it happens.
All right. Well, that's a fair point. No, I've been having fun too. I've done more laddering in Regulation D already, I feel, than I have in Regulation C. Certainly have had a lot more fun with it. Not
Absolutely.
only because videos, but also
I'm having enough fun that I'm not even that mad at people going closed sheet on me.
Whoa!
I'll see it, and it's annoying, but you know what? Okay, we're still gonna play this out. I'm still gonna have a good time.
And that's a thing that you've always been a great stickler
honestly,
for.
I'm not playing in any real tournaments in this format. Maybe we will in what's the one that might be Reg D? Is it Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh is Reg D.
Yeah, so I plan to go to Pittsburgh, but by that point the meta is going to be so different that any practice I do today means almost nothing. So whatever.
That's very true.
We're just having fun. I will always click the button. If you don't want to do it against me, fine. I'll be sad about it, but I will just keep playing.
Yeah, that's fine. I think that's okay.
Yeah.
Especially since I'm pretty sure I am not gonna play in any official Regulation D tournament.
Not doing Pittsburgh?
I can't do Pittsburgh.
Unfortunate. Yeah. But yeah, I mean that's where life is. It actually probably is the realest city that they've had something in, apart from San Diego.
Sure.
That's in the States, mind you. There have been some very real cities in Europe that I've been very jealous of. I think EUIC is gonna I think EUIC is gonna be a big trip next year. That'll be a lot of fun.
Are you gonna try and go to EUIC?
I would very much like to. I think that honestly, I'm not good enough to go to Worlds with just regionals and NAIC.
Sure.
But if I can do well at EUIC and NAIC, that might just pad my points enough. Because honestly, the game it's not pay to win, but it's pay to have way better odds.
Yeah, I mean, people we've talked about this a long time ago on this thing we do, this podcast. That VGC both it can be a rich man's sport, right? Because it's expensive to go to these places.
Or a rich child with rich parents, or a child with rich parents.
Yes. Very, very true. Or you get good and you have the snowball effect that really just propels you.
There are 5 of those people.
Really good.
Really good, and just happen to perform on the day. It's kind of wild. I think there are so many godly players who just Justin Tang didn't make day 2 at NAIC. Absolutely wild. Like,
Yep.
wouldn't expect it, but it happens to everybody at some point. And if you're depending on those travel awards and you have a bad day, well, like, tough luck. You won't get any more money.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Yeah.
it's-
But anyway, yeah, it's going to be. I'm looking forward to the season, but I'm also definitely enjoying the time off. I get to play this game and not take it that seriously, just like have a good time, which was what we're supposed to do in the first place, right? I think this. I repeated this to y'all so much, but like this, I found myself stressing over a video game, and that's when you start to realize that it's not worth doing anymore. Like,
I'm really happy that we were able to go through this season in its entirety, right?
and still have fun the whole time. I think, but had it gone on longer, I think I would have like really started to resent the game, and so I think the break in between seasons is very nice.
I was getting there. I was thinking the same thing. Like, this is gonna be rough if it, you know. I'm glad NAIC happened when it did. I'm glad that we get to look forward to the next season already. We have some dates through October, which is nice. But the break, needed it. It's very good. But not everyone had a break. The world
not
is
everybody
still
gets
happening.
a break. Exactly.
And Victory Road did the talk of the town, the talk on the interwebs has been, this is like the only real big practice tournament that'll happen before Worlds, which is probably very true.
You think there won't be any more? It's honestly surprising to me. Like, so I think you might be right. I wouldn't be surprised if Victory Road puts on another one. Or have you seen word that they're not going to?
No. That's just, people have been saying that. I also would not be shocked if Victory Road, like early, or I don't know, in like a week or 2 or 3 weeks, does one, right? Another one.
Because the Worlds is what, mid-August, right?
Mid-August, so it'll be tough to do it like before.
It's just an online weekend tournament, right? You can do more. The thing is, though, that like right now, I see where this one happened because people are still don't have a handle on the format yet. To be frank, like especially all the people who just prepped really hard for NAIC, they probably still have Reg C brain to some degree.
Yep.
Like they want to get like best of 3 reps in. But as you get closer and closer to Worlds, I think people aren't going to want to release their sauce, and they're going to keep that like as internal to their practice groups as they physically can.
Yeah.
So, best like these tournaments, I Victory Road obviously will want more content and will want to put out more tournaments, but the participation they get may not be as great. Whereas this one that just happened that you mentioned, we had some really big names in there, like Wolf Glick in top 16. Devin from Team India made 17th right there. This was really cool. I just recognize a bunch of other names: Carson Confer, Adrian Hurley. So Tiago Latanzi is Vovo Ben Max 10. I forget which order that is, but they are a Filipino player who tops the ladder regularly. Back when I was actually good at this game, I used to play them a lot in Series 12, but they are still very good.
Yeah, having well, let's see. To give the hard facts of this tournament, it happened on the 8th and 9th of July this past weekend. There were 382 players played in Regulation D, obviously. They had 9 rounds of Swiss on day 1 with a X2 top cut single elimination bracket, so it was a small regional, right? Just all online with open team sheets, of course.
382, yeah, that's huge.
That's huge for an online thing.
Not just a small regional. That is bigger than most regionals until this year.
Oh yeah,
like
to be fair,
yeah, like a small regional for this season. Yeah, no, like it.
That does outperform most regionals that have happened.
Yeah, for reference,
like
the one region I did well in was like 160 people or 180 people, something like that. Like, yeah, this is a huge tournament for sure.
So yeah, it's and again, grassroots, right? This is not official. This is just Victory Road putting this on for the practice for the people, right? Like,
I'm scrolling down further. Joe UX9 was 28th. Hippolyte Bernard, really strong French player. Oliver Escalin, I think, was making some big names.
Handle is Ally Switch, and that's just rude.
Yeah, I think I mostly followed Hippolyte for Team France last year. So yeah, that Gen 8, that makes some amount of sense.
Yeah. Okay.
Awful. And then, some of the Japanese players too. I feel like I should recognize their names, but I don't know the Japanese scene all that well outside of like the real superstars. But I know I've seen Yuya Hishiba and Ko Tsukide before, and they are second and fourth respectively, or other way around. But it attracted a lot of big names. I'm looking forward to talking about these teams honestly, because it's cool to see where the early meta is. Even if there's a lot of very consistent trends. But it is cool to see what's taking off this early.
Hey, you listening at home? We're gonna play a really quick game. This should not take 6 seconds.
Is it how many Pow Knights are in the tops?
No, you said there's a bunch of trends. I'm gonna ask a question. Rowan, you're gonna answer when I say go. Right? Give the people at home a few seconds, not minutes, to answer this. What do you think is the most obvious trend that we see here for Pokemon usage? Give it a few seconds.
How many seconds?
Give it a few seconds. What do you think the answer is, Rowan?
Is it a certain bear?
No.
Is it Fluttermane?
I was gonna say Fluttermane. Fluttermane's still at top, right?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm sorry. My brain just glazes over Fluttermane when I look at it. It was just like, obviously, yeah. That's the first slot on your team, and then you build out from there. Like, you have a 5 Pokemon team plus your Fluttermane. Fluttermane's the gimmick for the generation.
You know what? That could be it. No, so
you just click your Fluttermane button.
Which has there's still people are still making like
you're
slightly
totally
different
right.
Fluttermane.
They even put Fluttermane first on every team that had it, I think, to drive that home.
Yeah.
And my brain literally just looked at it and was like, oh, look at all the Urshifus. Like I didn't even consider the Flutters, but you're right. There is one team in the top 17 teams without a Fluttermane, and there are 2 teams in the top 22 without a Fluttermane.
And then it gets slightly more varied.
It gets a little more varied at the end. Not by much, because once you skip down 3 more teams, it is again all Fluttermanes.
So to give some hard numbers on that thing, right? So we do have Victor Road published the usage stats, so we're getting all this right from.
Oh, I didn't see those.
Literally the source.
Oh no, they're at the bottom of the page I'm looking at.
Yeah. So we got Fluttermane
56.8%. Oh.
Which is 217 teams out of 300 and whatever.
Yeah.
68.
So I want to see the percentage for like, I mean, I guess I could just do the math myself. Like top, however, like day, because it says day 2 over day 1%. I don't know if that's conversion rate.
I think
it's just because like everybody uses it, so of course it's not going to have that great of a conversion rate.
Oh, sure. Yes, correct. Excuse me. Yeah, the conversion rate's going to be low, but like, what is the percent of people who've actually used that?
Quick math says it has 94% usage in the top 17.
That sounds about right.
Like, this is Incineroar levels of insane, and it's an offensive mon. It's not even a glue mon.
It's not.
It just stat checks things.
Hey, there's an Imprison Trick Room set. That's almost supportive, and then it also hits hard.
Yeah.
Coming in second place is Watershifu with 47.6% usage, 182 teams. And then number 3 is that mushroom we all know and love, is Amoonguss at 38.7. That's not shocking to see those 3 Pokemon.
Not even remotely. It also basically mirrors the Showdown stats, the Picolix stats, outside of Tornadus being much higher on Showdown. But I think that was an early trend.
Early, yeah.
I think people really latched on to not that Torn is doing bad here. It's 7th in usage here. Yep. But yeah, I think people latched on to Torn for like just the obvious hyper offense stuff. And it's obviously a good mon, but it's, as people found out in Sword and Shield, it has holes. It's pretty frail. It basically requires a setup move to get to use its only attack. Consistently, at least. Like, you can click raw Bleak Winds, you can click raw Hurricanes, but do you want to? Sometimes you have to.
I don't think I've missed one on ladder yet when I decide to click a raw Bleak Windstorm.
You should probably start running some Iron Bundles and use that luck with an on Hydro Pump, friend. Like,
no, it's got to run out soon, right?
Yeah. But yeah, I have some trends I'd love to talk about on here, like outside of the raw numbers. If
yeah, absolutely, yeah. I'm just trying to give like a quick overview stuff, right? Like, other fun things of note, right? The next new mon after Watershifu at second is Heatran, which is cool.
really great. I
Yeah.
love Heatran, and it always like all these mons that were held back by their typings, like I can change that now. Like Terra Grass Heatran is nuts.
It's so
got
good.
that, it's got the armor factor with Flash Fire plus
Yep.
like a Fire Weak Grass, or like a Fire Weak Terra. But on top of that, it has real bulk, like really, really good bulk.
That's
And
a
so-
strong
and-
mango.
Yeah, exactly. Really good bulk, really solid special attack, and it's slow, so it fits into Trick Room, but it's not that slow, so you can pop a Tailwind next to a
Right.
Heatran and do stuff with it as well. It's like kind of just works in either mode you choose. I think this thing is gonna be top tier going forward. I don't think it's gonna fall off.
No, I don't see that going anywhere.
Yeah, I think that Terra Grass is the obvious choice for it. Like
Yes.
because of the water resist and because of the water resist, the ground resist, and the spore immunity.
Yep.
Plus, you don't even gain the fire weakness. But what I've seen coming up, which is really cool, is Terra Bug Heatran.
I've heard that too. Yes.
You don't get the water resist and you don't get the spore immunity, but what you do get is a fighting resist,
Yep.
which you previously had with your steel typing. And there's a lot of strong fighting types running around right now. Obviously, Urshifu, but Iron Hands is absolutely massive still. And just like anything that drops CC or low kick or whatever onto it, like plenty of things do that just because of the number of quad weak fighting mons that exist.
Yep.
Like
Absolutely.
King Gambit and T-Tar, I guess, like obviously like fighting is such good coverage, and being able to resist that is super nice, while you still get the ground resist for the obvious weakness on Heatran.
Yeah. No, I've yet to use a Heatran team, which does me sad. But I will probably
and there's ton. I don't know what the best way to run it is. I've seen Assault Vest Heatran, which used to be an absolute no-no because you needed to be able to protect in front of a ground move, but
Right.
now you don't necessarily need to.
and tear away.
Lefties is massive. Lefties substitute Heatran is a big deal because it's so bulky. It's like, okay, go second. As long as I don't take a mass, like more than 3/4 of my health, I still get my sub up, and then I get leftovers recovery. You're probably putting me next to Rillaboom, so I'll get that recovery too. Then I can protect and get that double like residual recovery again. And if I'm well positioned, or I get intimidates or screens or whatever up, then you may not even break my sub on the next turn, and then I get another round of recovery and then protect and another round of double recovery. And in the meantime, he's just chipping you
Yeah. That's
hard
actually,
with base 130 special attack.
That's actually very, very scary. I like it.
It's awesome. You can do lefties. I've seen Life Orb, obviously. Like it's gonna be good.
Fantastic. So what other trends? So looking at the teams
So
here, we got the top 32 teams. I think that's all they published.
I think you are correct. Yes.
Yes.
I think that I touched on it before, but like the amount of Pownite is honestly kind of surprising. I think that because we had it in Reg C, right? It was strong in Reg C. It was starting to pick up towards the end of Reg C, but it's just exploded in usage. Like,
Oh yeah.
if you look at the there are three. No, there's only two of it in the top 8, but in top 16 there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them in top 16 of that pairing. And it's like I apart from one of them that's AV, it's all Banded Dragonite plus Gen Pow. It's all just go burr kill things with priority. And like it felt like people had kind of figured that out in Reg C, or at least like reduced it to a coin flip kind of thing. And people are just running it in Reg D, and myself included. I guess it's just because the meta is very offensive, like
I feel
hyper
like,
offensive when it starts.
yeah, I was gonna say I feel like a new meta like this always leans towards the hyper offense, and then it'll slow down, it'll bulk up, it'll kind of even out a little bit.
Now we say that, but then you go to the next trend, which I think is really cool. Look at number 15 and 16 in the usage is Grimmsnarl and Hisuian Gudra, which is also something I've had a lot of fun on ladder with. You get Terra Fairy, so you don't care about Sacred Swords. You stack Shelter or Acid Armor, where your +2 defense move of choice. I think it also gets Iron Defense, so like pick whichever one you enjoy, whichever animation makes you feel better about yourself. And then you click Body Press.
Okay. Yep. Sure.
Shelter has less PP too, so it
I don't
might be
understand why they
objectively
gave
the
it
worst one.
special, like its signature move, right? Like
Because in Arceus it improved evasion, and that would have been busted.
that would have been busted.
Yeah, I would have liked to do +3 or give it some special defense or something. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, make it flavored cosmic power at least. But anyway, yeah. So it gets that plus body press, of course. It gets stab heavy slam, so that mon with 94% usage in the top 17, yeah, that mon just dies because Gudra
God.
has respectable attack stat. So yeah, a stab heavy slam is absolutely going to do it in. And then really cool. So two amazing abilities and one meh ability. GUI is whatever, but both Sap Sipper and Shell Armor are really, really good. And I think before the format started, everybody thought it was going to run Sap Sipper because Spore immunity is amazing. But as it turns out, crit immunity is also amazing when a certain bear exists.
Them bears, though.
Yeah. And so the obvious item feels like lefties, right?
Yes.
But what's really been picking up since a Cybertron video with it happened is Rocky Helmet. And then instead of Protect, you run Life Dew.
Okay.
And neat thing about Life Dew is that unlike every other recovery move in the game, that was nerfed this gen, it still has 16 PP. Every other recovery move in the game has 8. So I've found myself in endgames where it's my Gudra against another Bond with recovery, usually Cresselia with Lunar Blessing, which I guess is something we should also talk about.
Absolutely.
I get to last longer than them. You're never touching me.
Wow.
And I'm gonna have healing for 8 more turns than you.
Wow.
Yeah. So
yeah, okay.
And then Rocky Helmet's like, I don't get crit. I have defense boosts. I'm probably running next to Grimmsnarl for Reflect. And now your Watarshifu is about to Surging Strikes me and do 1% per hit and hurt itself for like, I don't know how much, 8% or something per hit with the Rocky Helmet.
Rocky Helmet, yeah.
So
okay.
Yeah, it's got, I think it's an amazing mon, and like obviously as counterplay, it's bait for getting taunted, of course, but like it's really cool to see it's like Garg meets, is it really like Garg? I don't know what the best comparison is. It's probably closest to Registeel, actually, if I had to say one.
I didn't even play Registeel back in
Registeel was busted in series 11 and 12, actually, because you could because Dynamax let you stack max Quake boosts on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
You put up screens, you Dynamax your Landorus, and then you max Quaked a few things. You did some damage, and then you had a +3 special defense, probably +6 physical defense behind reflected light screen.
Yeah.
Natural base 150 defenses.
That was okay.
Best defensive type in the game. Body.
How did I never see this? I'm happy I didn't see it because I didn't play it.
It was disgusting. Yeah. No. So that's probably what it reminds me of the most. But
yeah, I did I have Hisuian Gudra on my draft league, and it performed exceptionally well in this week's thing. And I have video.
Is that what you've posted already, or is that what's coming up soon?
That's coming out if I can get everything the way I want to. With my own personal timing, I think it comes out tomorrow. From when the audience is listening to this, a Friday.
Fun little self plug, yeah. I was gonna say, yeah, always. I've been nerding out about this whole thing hard though. Like, give me your favorite like new mon, new set, whatever. Like it can be in this tournament or.
So
or
yeah,
whatever.
I mean, I'm gonna forego what would be the obvious Harrison answer and talk about Watarshifu in the rain. So instead, I'm going to talk about something that I have no experience playing, which is Ursaluna and Cresselia. I think seeing some of the Trick Room teams that have come out and that are running around with this duo, with other obvious Trick Room mons, is wild. I want to play it so bad. Like just seeing this bear delete things.
It's upsetting.
There's
so
fantastic.
many things with the delete button in this format, but yeah, it's wild. Did you know it one-shots most Amoonguss?
It one-shots most Amoonguss?
Yeah, you have to go like 252, 236 bold to take a stab, like a Guts Facade. And if it Terras, you don't live, period.
Ooh.
If it Terra normals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
It's crazy.
That this cocaine bear is wild to me, and I at some point we'll play that and probably make a video on it because I'm on a video kick. It's great.
I have to admit I was like lukewarm on it at first, and I think that was just a reaction to how people were playing it at the beginning.
Sure.
A lot of people would just go Cresselia plus Ursa lead, protect Trick Room, and then get the burn and go for it. It's like,
it feels
but
very
one's gonna
obvious.
no one's gonna let you do that, right? It's like,
Right.
okay, you have mental orb on your crest. You know a little guy named Urshifu exists, and he can just surging strikes your bear before Trick Room even gets up. Like he
Right.
can just fake out your Cresselia. Like you can either have mental orb or covert cloak. You can't have both. And in an open team sheet format, I'm gonna know which one you have, and I'm gonna choose the mon that stops it. Like it didn't feel that strong, but people are already adapting. They're already building around this thing such that it's like either just a Trick Room mode or even in some cases fast. I have seen Jolly max speed Ursaluna because that thing, it's fine. It's Jolly. It's still unreasonably strong.
Yep.
And if you have max speed Jolly and you put a Tailwind up, you outspeed Modest Fluttermanes.
I didn't know it was that fast. Okay, cool.
It's not that fast. It's very slow. But if you invest,
yeah,
like
with,
it's the same way
with
people
the investment, like I
investment in the Tailwind. Like it's crazy, but people used to run fast Calyrex Ice in the same way back in Series 12 as well. And like it is a thing you can do even in open sheets. We don't get to see your spreads.
Yeah, it might be fun to do that as a to try and build that as a dual mode team, right? Yeah. Have Cresselia and Tornadus or whatever, right?
Yeah, and that is what won. That's what won the tournament. If you look
I have
at
not
Tiago,
actually looked at this team yet.
If you look at Tiago Latanzi's team, yeah, pull it up. It's straight up Tail Room. You have Tailwind on the Tornadus, and actually no, there is no Trick Room. That's my there was a Cresselia, so I assumed it had Trick Room.
Oh, okay, it's just fast mode.
Yeah, it's a lot of bulky stuff. Wait, this one doesn't have the bear actually.
Yeah, you completely lied to me.
Yeah, no, it is just it's Cresselia and Tornadus on the same team. No, I was thinking of third place. Sorry. So Sergio Ramirez has Trick Room on the Cresselia, Tailwind on the Tornadus, and then but an Ursaluna, and then you have like Amoonguss, Scarf Urshifu, and AV Iron Hands. Like very mixed speed team. It has some slow bulky stuff, has some fast powerful stuff.
I actually really like this team. I'm going to.
Your opponent sees that. They don't know what you're leading, what game mode you're going with, and either is completely viable. And you can mix them. Like having a Scarf Urshifu in the back after your Trick Room mode ends, and then just suddenly this thing comes up and murders whatever's left on the board. Like,
yeah,
I think this kind of thing is. I would bet more money on this kind of thing doing well at Worlds than hard Trick Room Bear. I think that's
I can
too one-dimensional to win at that level.
Yeah, I can get behind that. I like this a lot. I think I would want to do something besides Iron Hands in this team, personally.
Potentially, yeah. I actually really like Iron Hands in this format, but I can see where you're coming from for sure.
Yeah.
I think Rillaboom is really
I was really thinking Rillaboom.
Yeah, I think Rillaboom's really showing its stuff as an alternative to Iron Hands because you still get the fake out, you still get the pivot, you get arguably more damage because because you have terrain plus Woodhammer, whereas Iron Hands actually has a higher attack stat, but it doesn't get the terrain boost and it rarely runs close combat anymore. Some of them still do, but like the -1/-1 is honestly worse than damage chip because Iron Hands' whole thing is being really bulky, and the second you start putting stat drops on that loses a lot of value.
Yeah, that's really cool. Is there anything else Pokemon and combo wise want to talk about here?
Oh god.
Before I imagine we can also kind of like talk more specifically about some of the high performing teams.
Well, okay, I think Landorus is really interesting. I think that we got so used to Dynamo. Okay, so you remember when Landorus came into?
I'm not seeing a whole lot of Lando.
It was number 9 in usage, and it had 10% conversion rate to day 2, but it might have been mostly lower ranking day 2 teams that had it. By the looks of it, yeah. They start around number 18 or so. There's one at 12.
Are they counting both forms as one Pokemon?
I think people just didn't run Incarnate form. There is an Incarnate form in 28. Joe UX9 ran an Incarnate.
Is that the only one? No, there's also Zach Scott at 21.
Okay.
There's a couple, but
I think Landorus I was its own thing. But yeah, I think so. Okay, so do you remember when Crown Thunder came out? Everybody completely lost their minds. They were like, "We're getting Landorus back. This thing is going to be unreal." Yeah, and they were right. Don't get me wrong. Of course, like max airstream on base 145. Physical attack and intimidate and that typing and all the things that make Landorus amazing continue to make it amazing, right? But people were approaching it from a mindset of like pre-Dynamax still. I watched a video that our friends over at Pokesports put out, and no shade to them, they were saying what everybody else is saying is you run this thing with an Assault Vest or a Choice Scarf. and totally makes sense when Dynamax isn't there. When it is there, like suddenly people are like, no, wait, I can run White Orb, I can run Lumberry, I can run Life Orb, and all these things are amazing because I'm gonna get big and either like bust through your like your burns and intimidates, or I'm just not gonna care about them because I have a Life Orb, that kind of thing.
Right.
I think we're having exactly the opposite of that now, where Dynamax is gone and people are going into Landorus and they're still kind of trying to play it like a Dynamax Landorus, like I've seen Life Orb ones. Whereas like turns out Choice Scarf is really good on it. It gets Stomping Tantrum now, so you don't even need to run it next to stuff that can take an EQ. You get single target ground damage now on this thing off of that crazy attack stat. And one thing like Sword and Shield, it does have Flying Terra Blast, which is horrifying. But honestly, I've seen more success with Terra Water because it just gets to sit in the face of Water Urshifus.
Sure. I feel like a lot of the defensive Terras and a lot of the team compositions that we've kind of seen, at least I've seen on ladder and other things, is a lot of trying to, how do I avoid Water Urshifu?
Yes, I myself are running Water Flutter Mane right now. Like, I kind of had enough of it.
Fair enough. That works. But yeah, I mean, with it being number 2 in usage, that makes a lot of sense. Because now you just have Water Urshifu and Flutter Mane on most teams out in the wild, which is great.
Yeah. I think that'll come to bite it. And then so the other trend, because of that, I've seen effectively every Amoonguss I have ever played against is Rocky Helmet now.
Yep. Yes, I've seen a lot more of that too.
You used to see a lot of Citrus Berry, maybe some Mental Herb out there. Like, no, it is Rocky Helmet. I want to Rage Powder your Surging Strikes into my Rocky Helmet. That is just the end of it. And to the point that I think the adjustment now is, like, at first everybody was really enamored with Terra Water on Water Urshifu, and that's still obviously stupidly strong. But Terra Grass is really picking up now as well, because I don't want to deal with your Shroom.
This is bringing back Terra Grass Palafin vibes, and I'm here for it.
It really is a trade-off. I'm interested to see where it all settles. I think it will end up becoming like a team thing. Like, if you don't have an Amoonguss counter built into your team, then you go for the Terra Grass.
Yeah, I can see that. That makes a lot of sense to me. I wanted to also touch. We talked a little bit about Cresselia. Have you ran anything with Cresselia yet?
I have not run Cresselia. I've been trying to like branch out different stuff. I haven't touched Cress or Ursaluna yet. Those are the two big holes in my experience so far.
In your repertoire?
Yeah. I think Lunar Blessing is really cool. I think it hasn't impacted the games I've played as much as I expected it to.
Okay, because that's what I'm wondering, right? Because I haven't seen a whole lot of it played personally. Like, I've not played against a whole lot of Cresselia yet, and I've not, and even less so, I've seen Lunar Blessing do something. I think I've seen it once, actually.
Removing status is huge, right?
Yeah.
It's nice to heal your Ursaluna, but it is only 25% healing, right? It's the same healing as Life Dew.
Yes.
With half the power points because you remove the condition, but your Ursaluna is already burned, and like it doesn't mess up your damage because Ursa goes first and then the burn goes away and then it gets reapplied at the end of the turn and you don't take the chip, but that's so little damage. Like, I feel like it isn't actually giving that much utility. It would be better to like remove a spore or a freeze or something, but if there's a spore coming, then how do you safely switch in your Cress, and do they even bother sporing you if your Cress is already on the field? Like,
yeah, that's a fair point. If they're not already trying to spore the Cress,
unless you're going like Goggles or Terra Grass Cress, and it really wants to be Terra Fairy to resist Dark, because it's not that high on the usage. But Terra Dark Urshifu is also a menace, and it doesn't have as easy of counters as Water Urshifu. I've been playing Bandaged Darkfu on a Dondozo team.
Yeah,
and you'd be surprised. Okay. Like, you just make a couple of things melt, and then you bring out Dondozo and win. Like, it's a real strategy.
That sounds like a strategy. No, I'm actually quite shocked that Urshifu is not higher in usage across the board.
It was the Urshifu in Gen 8 and Sunless Water. I think it was just kind of a Dynamax thing, right?
Sure.
Because it's hard to say. Well, now Wicked Blow got nerfed, so it is the same strength as Surging Strikes. It used to be stronger. Surging Strikes was 25 by times 3, and Wicked Blow used to be 80, but now it's 75, so it matches the Water one.
Okay.
But I don't think that 5 base power was it. I think it was back in Gen 8, it was the ability to hit things like Metagross, like Solgaleo, like Kyogre, all those things with a critical hit, like just really big damage, super effective for the psychic ones, but even for Kyogre, like it's resisting water Urshifu, right? Like all of these really big, and even Groudon, right, had the sun, so it didn't, and it had amazing physical defense, so it took a Surging Strikes incredibly well. So I think Dark Urshifu will come up again eventually. I think that what Urshifu is just like, it has really obvious synergies and people jumped on it, but
yeah, I can see that. Like it definitely, Water Urshifu definitely had the obvious synergies, obvious teammates, like obvious plays. It literally just took the place of Palafin for the most part.
Yeah, pretty
right.
much. And we have been starved for a consistent water type, right? Like
yes.
The only water type with 100% accurate moves is Palafin, and it takes a turn to set up.
Yep.
Like that's like physical special ones have the obvious drawback with losing Scald and only having Hydro Pump now. But like even physical ones, like you had Azumarill who had to run Play Rough. And then, and then you had the Water Bull, which just became bad after Series 1. So what is there?
Yeah, so now we just have this bear we throw out, and it's good to go right off the bat. Give it a Scarf, it's good. It goes fast. Give it a Band, hits harder than you want it to, or just Mystic Water, right? Like there's a handful of sets, all do very similar things, just slightly different, right?
And like it doesn't do as much damage as Palafin, but it's close, and it hits 3 times, and it ignores Intimidate, and it doesn't take a turn to set up. So like
the benefits way outweigh that. So that makes sense. And then I think because of that, I think you're right. Dark Urshifu took the back seat, and it's gonna come back. I would not be shocked if it does extremely well at Worlds, because people are like, oh hey, this other bear exists too.
I would bet on it at least like cutting Worlds, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think so.
And also like that water bear is informing number 26 on our list here, which is Gastrodon. I hadn't really seen the slug make a serious appearance. It was kind of there for a while when Palafin had serious dominance, but like suddenly it's there again, right? Like
now I think that what's nice about Gastrodon coming back to take care of Water Urshifu, coming back into high usage, is at least Water Urshifu has more things in its arsenal to deal with a slug than
it can CC.
The Dolphin did.
Palafin usually ran only water moves.
Right.
And even if it had coverage, it was mono water, so those things didn't have stab, whereas like stab CC from an Urshifu really hurts that Gastrodon. Its physical defenses are pretty bad. That's the reason why people ran at like 252 defense bold and it couldn't do any damage. Yep.
So
like,
and now this does also obviously, like, Gastrodon's a great answer to a choice Water Urshifu, but
yeah. I personally think that Gastrodon won't do well at Worlds.
No.
The thing that it had in Gen 8 that made it so good, that made it like a vital part of Renya's Sun. I mean, obviously Kyogre existed, and that justified its existence a lot more, but also Dynamax and Yawn were two really big things there. Is like this Mon, if you fully invest it defensively, can take a hit or two, and it can yawn and if you call things right, you yawn your opponent's Dynamax Mon as it maxes, and they lose a minimum of a turn of it. So like,
but Rowan, you can still yawn your opponent's Terra Pokemon.
Which is all right.
No, you're right. It makes a lot of sense. So yeah, I'm not particularly shocked. Yeah. I am happy though. Before I think we've come to the end of this segment of discussion. I am happy to see my boy Pelipper is still here.
That we haven't come to the end of this point of discussion. You want to know why your boy Pelipper is here? It's because he means that Water Urshifu gets to smack things without Tornadus needing to click Rain Dance. Yeah,
exactly.
No, he's enabling the bird instead of the bird enabling him.
Well, okay, I guess you're kind of right. So what's interesting that I've seen, slight tangent on Weather War stuff, because I like weather teams, it's my favorite archetype. The number of ways that weather could exist has only increased.
It's very cool
in a bizarre way. So you have the setters, you have Torkoal and Pelipper. Then you have things with Prankster, which have always existed, but now we have Tornadus, which is a great answer to.
Which, by the way, also gets Rain Dance. Obviously, it also gets Sunny Day.
Sunny Day. I think it's all weathers.
Does it? Oh yeah, it gets Snowscape. I saw a Snowscape team on
and
it. Yeah.
Sandstorm too.
And
I
Sandstorm.
think.
Interesting.
So it can do whatever you want it to do, which is great. But then, have you seen Regieleki, Rain Dance Regieleki next to something with Swift Swim.
I hadn't seen that. No, that's cute.
But it's great because Regieleki, one of the fastest Pokemon, is the slowest weather setter
Effectively.
because it's priority 0, and it can still go first before anything else on the field, and then it enables your Swift
Half
Swimmer
the
next to
time,
it.
even if they got to click Tailwind, you still get to go first.
Yep. Yeah. That's terrifying.
I haven't seen a lot of Aleki, surprisingly. And I don't
Where is
know
Aleki? It's not even on this list.
Not on the list, no. I think that losing
Because
Dynamax was huge.
Aleki needs Dynamax, yeah.
Transistor got nerfed, so that's a big thing. It doesn't do as much because it was a staple in Series 10, the format that we lost Dynamax.
Yes.
But yeah,
fair point.
And you'd think it would be really good here because it gets Ice Terra or any Terra that can hit ground types, right?
Yep.
I would probably go Water personally, but whatever. Like maybe Ice for anyway. Like it can change its type to not be stuck using electric moves, but like the loss of power and then being able to just be smacked by so much heavy priority stuff. I guess like Waterchifu, Aqua Jet, and the Rain
might
probably just Oko's it, especially if it's Terra Water. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's hard to say why it isn't doing as well as you'd think. Because Bundle's on this list, and Bundle to me is worse Aleki.
That's true. The only Regieleki in the top 32 that we have here is JUX9 at 28.
Right. I think something to consider, though, I just said it's better Bundle, but one thing Bundle does have over it is Booster Energy as an item. And so even though Aleki is far and away the fastest thing in existence, Booster Bundle is faster. And it doesn't get constrained. Like I've seen some Choice Scarf Alekis out there, which is cute. And it does make it the fastest thing in existence.
Okay, sure.
But Bundle gets that +1 without having to like get itself stuck into Electro Web or whatever it wants to click, right? Like
Right. Yeah, speaking of whatever it wants to click, the other thing that it can do is a very quick Terra Normal Explosion.
Yes.
Which
God, I literally played that in the ladder game while I was waiting for you.
Oh, fantastic.
I still won, but it's fine.
So yeah, Aleki does things, so have fun with that. But if you see it...
Yeah.
What else you got?
Okay, I'm looking at this list. Okay, basically two things. We could talk forever, honestly. Okay,
Seems
so
like it.
I don't know how Hisuian Arcanine is sitting at number 17. It had it had some of the worst conversion rates. It had 41 people brought it. Only one of them made day 2.
That's the same as your favorite new slug.
It's
Snail.
true. It's true.
Gudra.
I think that this tournament happened before people started to figure out Gudra, to be fair, but
That might be true.
But you're right. Yeah, and Gudra might be one-dimensional enough that it doesn't actually take off. I wouldn't bet money on it doing well at Worlds, but I think it's really fun right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see the appeal of Hisuian Arcanine. I think its design is amazing. It's like probably my favorite thing from Legends Arceus in terms of just like visuals and stuff. And I had one on my team and everything. But Fire Rock is a garbage typing.
It's a garbage typing, but
and in fact the only one, and like Rockhead Flare Blitz is cute.
Yes.
And I didn't realize that Head Smash only has 80% accuracy, so I immediately threw that in the garbage.
Oh, sure. Yep.
Yeah, and the only one that made day 2 actually is running Intimidate on it, like Citrus Berry, Terra Grass, Intimidate, like as if it's a support mon, and I guess it is in this case.
What number is it? Oh, there it is. 29.
Which one?
Dylan
Yeah.
Salvinar. Him. Yeah, so we have Hisuian Arcanine. The key thing, because I just watched part of a Cybertron video actually about this, is just that it has stab rock slide, like fast stab rock slide with Intimidate.
That's fair.
The option to go the whatever the hard head one is with Flare Blitz, sure, but use it like a Arcanine and then give it some pretty quick stab rock slides, and you're doing something at least.
You're doing something, yeah. I mean, it has that same problem as Heatran that gets remedied by Terra to some degree. The quad ground weakness does go away with Terra Grass. That's totally fair. But unlike Heatran, it doesn't have it doesn't have Heatran bulk.
Sure.
And it doesn't have Heatran power, and it's physical, so it can be intimidated. It just feels bad. But I mean, hey, like Dylan Salvanera got top 32 with it. Like that's nothing to sneeze at. But yeah, I'm personally not a Hisuian Arcanine believer.
Yeah, I'm probably in the same boat as you. I was more shocked to hear that it has done well.
at anything. Yeah, period.
Yeah,
I want to watch the videos with it. It looks so cool. It is like
I do love the design.
but,
I agree.
yeah.
But like, yeah, typing wise and what it brings to the table, someone smarter than me will be able to do something with it. I'm certain.
Something at least. Yeah.
Someone by the name of Dylan Salvanara, right? Like, obviously,
one Aqua Jet erases it unless you burn your Terra.
no,
And you never want to.
You
burn
can
your Terra on a
intimidate
support
the
mod.
Aqua Jet.
It's still 4x.
Yeah,
still
I know.
up in
You're still
Archie
gone.
Yeah,
Give it
I don't
a
know.
focus. No, I agree. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
pretty
I don't
tough.
know. It. I'd love to be proven wrong. I'd love to see it do well. What else is there? Prankster Thunderous. Nothing really new. I mean, it's cool that it's doing well, but like,
Standard.
you know what the thing does. The Wild Bolt Storm on that thing is pretty neat. But
Sure.
honestly, I run Thunderbolt on it because I don't really always have rain up when I run the thing.
Play
I
more
think-
rain teams. Join me.
I think only like I would only feel comfortable running it if it was like a Pelipper rain team. I don't want to like waste a turn to click Rain Dance to have my only attack work.
To be fair, manual rain does feel a little bad. Like, I'm looking forward to Politoed to just have another setter option.
I'm ready to skip the Toad and go straight to Kyogre.
You're not gonna get that.
One more year, I'll be fine.
Politoed comes in like 6 months. Not
Okay.
even.
Okay, fair enough. And then okay, what else? The last things I guess were Galarian, Moltres, and Zapdos, which it's I guess unsurprising that the two birds that did well in Gen 8 are still doing well here.
Yep.
As much as I enjoy Cybertron's Articuno videos, I don't think it's actually good.
I do. That's another team I want to play for the
super
channel.
fun,
It
but
looks
I mean,
so fun.
It's Bright Powder Snowcloak. It is some troll nonsense.
It's
like,
terrible.
Granted, if you go bulky enough, you're probably gonna get a few misses.
Yeah.
But yeah,
fair.
I think Galarian, Moltres, and Zapdos, like they're just always been good. Now you put Tailwind on those things.
Yep.
Behind
Did-
screens,
did
Fiery
they-
Wrath
did
is
they
an
have
amazing
Tailwind?
move still.
Did they have Tailwind last gen? Because
I don't even know because no one ever ran it.
right, but like that's the thing
Yveltal had
people are doing
Tailwind, and I
now.
learned that like towards the end of the generation. Yeah, because people
Sure.
did start running it eventually. Yeah, I'm not really sure, but they definitely have it now, and they're both bulky enough that they can like relatively reliably get it off. If you don't want to like shove a prankster user onto your team, it's pretty nice.
Sure.
And they just do their thing. Fiery Wrath is an amazing move. It's Rock Slide that doesn't miss, and it's special.
And it's still so good. You know, it's hard to see like a lot of the stuff that came in Dynamax and then having a completely different like era of competitive Pokemon. It's like, oh, it's still good outside of Dynamax. Like, sure, it's a good move. It just is.
And we didn't get to because the only non-Dynamax format we ever got in Sword and Shield was single restricted, so we never really
Right.
got to see a lot of this stuff shine. Right? It's like,
Yep.
okay, you have a Galarian Moltres, watch my Zacian delete it,
Destroy it.
watch my Tornogre delete it. Like it didn't get a chance to do anything. Now like nothing deletes it that hard. Like Terra, normal Dragonite probably, right? But like you put up Reflect, you get an Intimidate down, and you click Nasty Plot, and your Fire Rats are going amazing. Or you just have Citrus Berry, and they smack you below 50% health, and you go back up above 50, and you get a Berserk boost, and then they put you back down below 50, and you get
Yep.
another Berserk boost. And
Yep.
Yeah,
And
pretty
it
nice
feels
stuff.
good.
And there's a lot of healers. You have that Life Dew Gudra and that whatever
Lunar
Blessing,
Blessing?
Cresselia, yeah, like all those things to bring it back up again. There's no Comfey, but I think it has options. I think it might be good.
Yeah. My next thing, which might be the last super interesting thing that I see.
We've milked this pretty dry.
We have.
Go for it.
But Goldango is sitting at number 10.
Goldengo's surprisingly good.
Like he dropped off, right, a little bit towards the end of C, it seems like, or maybe just in C. But to see him doing super well, like above Dragonite, above Cresselia and Luna, and Ursaluna, right? Some of these things that I thought would be even above my goodness, Tornadus, which is shocking to me. Nope, sorry, Thunderous. I got the two confused. But still, up there in usage, I didn't really expect that. And I haven't ran a Goldango yet, nor have seen one. But I can only imagine that because they released the shiny version, it clearly had that was the boost it needed.
Exactly. You need those silver lines. I mean, in all seriousness, like it's immune to all the prankster nonsense because of good as gold.
Yep.
It Terra waters most of the time, so it doesn't care about your Watershifu. And going Terra water means that like it I don't know, half of them lock into Surging Strikes, and they don't want with a Choice Scarf, and they don't want to risk a CC when you could just stay Ghost.
Sure. Yeah.
Like Amoonguss's number 3 usage, that's always absolutely massive to have there, right? And if you go that Terra Water, then you can just smack down Fluttermanes as well. I think it has just a lot of use case. It really messes with Pow Knight stuff too. If you have redirection, Amoonguss Goldango is still just such a strong lead.
Yeah, that's a fair point. It is fun to see.
Yeah, it hasn't really changed what it does much. It's still like lefties, Terra Water, Nasty Plot, Make It Rain, Shadow Ball, Protect, but like it does stuff now.
It's back to doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay. We have talked about some trends and pairings that we've seen. We've talked about usage stats. We have talked about the fact that some of these early Regulation D Pokemon are doing the things that they're doing. The only thing that I can think of, unless you can prove me wrong, to talk more about from this single web page that we've been talking off of for the last 51 minutes, would be the specific teams.
I think that, thanks for just letting me completely nerd out over this stuff.
It's so
I
good.
Completely lost track of time there. Yeah, so do you want to just choose our favorite, like 1 or 2, and
let's do that.
This? All right,
we can close out.
You want to go first?
Sure. I'm gonna. Hi, it's me. If people have been following us for more than some amount of time, you'll know.
Does it have rain on it?
Oh yeah. So Devin Singh.
Yeah.
Is that how you say that?
Yeah.
Singh? Devin Singh, having what is gonna be another team that I just absolutely want to join.
Team India shout out.
Oh, he's India. Okay, sorry. Yeah. That's right. You said that earlier.
Yeah.
The American flag next to him on
should probably give away.
Road. Okay, sure, but he had an American flag. I thought
he
you
does.
said that
That's actually surprising. VR is supposed to change us all to India.
Right. You've said that before too.
Anyway, go for it.
But anyway, so this fun-looking rain team, it's a Pelipper with Basket Legion. So Basket Legion doing Basket Legion things: Wave Crash, Aqua Jet, Last Respects, and Protect. Cool. With Hisuian Gudra, which also sounds amazing. This variant is Leftovers Fairy Terra Sap Sipper with Body Press, Heavy Slam, Shelter, and Protect. Sounds great. And then a Therian Thunderous,
which is super cool. Yeah,
which
you don't see that often.
Cool. Yeah,
but that thing is strong. Base 145 special attack. I want to say like it is especially strong as Landorus Therian is physically strong.
Baffling. And this thing is running choice specs to go on top of that.
And then it gets to click Wild Bolt Storm specs in the rain.
Amazing. That's lovely.
Or Flying Terra Blast.
And Flying Terra Blast, which is also a neat thing.
Which is a double stab, Terra Boost because it is flying type.
Man, that's delightful. And then of course there's an Amoonguss and a Fluttermane, shocking no one. Going with the Steel variant for Amoonguss, which is very fun.
Yeah, very, very solid in the rain.
Yep. And then Rocky Helmet for the Amoonguss, which is nice. It's got the Rage Powder, right, for Watershifu. And then sitting there with just a kind of booster energy, bog standard looking Fluttermane. I would not be too shocked if that's like a top Pikalytics spread for EVs on that Fluttermane, because that's something you can just take from anything.
Yeah, most likely relatively bulky. This team has Tailwind on Pelipper, but you can never rely. You do want to click it, but you're not guaranteed to get it off, right? Like, you do it when you can.
That Focus Sash.
You do. It helps. It helps for sure. And the Terra Ghost on that is pretty nice for that purpose as well.
Yes. If you want to guarantee it. But this is probably the team that out of this list that we've been staring at, I'm definitely gonna take as well.
It seems your style. You should go for it.
Absolutely. I haven't done a Basque Legion team yet, like playing offline or for a video, so that's coming because
Basque Legion is like really good on the water side too.
I really like it.
Like Urshifu's been stealing the spotlight, but like Swift Swim, all 100% accurate moves. It gets Wave Crash, it gets Aqua Jet, and then Last Respects is kind of godly if it's the last one on the field.
Yeah.
And if you get to have rain and it's the last one on the field, then it's going first and it's hitting you with a super boosted stab blast specs.
Yep. That's delightful.
Yeah.
What do you got?
Okay. What is my okay? Boring as all hell, but it is what I'm currently playing right now. So
it's gonna be cool a pow night.
Obviously, it's Wolfie's team actually.
That's right. You said that earlier.
Yeah.
Today.
So I mean, it is as bog standard as it gets. I've changed mine around a little bit, right? But you have standard Torn Urshifu, but Mystic Water over Choice Scarf on the Urshifu, which I think is relatively standard as well. But
yes. That's my favorite Urshifu set.
I was leaning Scarf, and I'm not sure. I think that Scarf was really great in the early meta because people were also just going Torn plus something. And if you have the Scarf plus Tailwind, then you can actually outspeed like even a Lecky if you get the Tailwind up, and they don't, right? Yeah, and then you just nuke it. But as things are getting more developed, I think the Mystic Water and the Detect give you a lot more flexibility. Obviously, Pow Knight, I think a lot more so he's running the Inner Focus Dragonite. This is where I got the idea, honestly. Like, I was kind of sticking with multi-scale, but Inner Focus has been massive, especially because people don't give me team sheets, so they don't get to know that I don't have a multi-scale to pop, and they don't get to know that I can't be fake out. So that's very nice. But then they're running Iron Head. Like, Aqua Jet was the move on them for a while, so that you could double up Flutter Mains when you're banded. You could Aqua Jet plus Sucker Punch and kill them. But now we're just going Iron Head, and I think I kind of like it, honestly, because you get a lot more coverage. It's just a lot more consistent. And if you Terra normal, then you're taking a Moonblast from a Flutter Main, and then you just Iron Head it back. And then Iron Hands, a substitute Flutter is also really nice too. Substitute Terra Water, so this is going like hard into the bulk side, but like this kind of team does kind of struggle against hard Trick Room, which is more and more common these days.
Well, is the hard Trick Room though like running with Indeedee still? Like, is
some
that,
of them
is that
do,
as
some
common?
of them don't. Honestly, I'm probably kind of biased because I'm exposed to so many of Kevin and Bruno's games.
Absolutely, yes.
So like there are still people who run Indeedee stuff, and then you start playing the mind game of Ice Spinner, do you swap out, etc. I can just click substitute with my Flutter Main turn 1, while I get rid of their terrain, and then kind of see where it goes from there. You can protect, and you basically your sub plus your protect keeps your Flutter alive through all of Trick Room. If they don't have Psychic Terrain, then Dragonite just goes wild.
Right, that's fantastic, right?
Yeah, it's like I hope you like E-Speed plus Sucker Punch. I don't care if your Trick Room's up. But yeah, and then just a bulky Assault Vest, Grass Iron Hands with the Vault Switch. I was not on the Vault Switch train for a while. I am back on it. Pivoting with this thing is really, really nice.
What is your common pivots for this team? Like, what do you want to pivot into with this? I'm guessing
anything. Right? So the team is super offensive, but pretty frail. Apart,
I guess that makes sense.
Everything that isn't named Dragonite or Iron Hands doesn't want to take a hit. So your Iron Hands is real slow. It takes the hit, it Vault Switches out, and then your frail thing gets to come in and smack.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. That makes sense. I guess it's. I do like it, right?
And if your partner goes down, then you come right back in and fake out.
Sure, right. Pivoting is great, right? Obviously.
Cap was joking about like with the Squawk ability plus Iron Hands equals Incineroar, but it kind of like
it's true though.
You're doing the same Incineroar thing. You pivot and then you fake out. Like
this just seems like a fun high offense, go fast, hit hard.
Yeah, it's not that crazy. The only new thing on this team is Tornadus Urshifu, but like it fits my offensive playstyle really well. But it has the defensive pivoting tools and the sub to like you can
cool
play
tech
around it.
Yeah,
it has stuff on it. It has at least 3. It only has 2. It has 3 protects. Yeah, so it's doable. You can totally play defensively if you need to, but for the most part, you just put your foot on the gas.
Oh, I could not read protect on Chimp. I was like, "Where's the 3rd protect?" And it wasn't the detect that got me. So okay.
Yeah, Chen Power, Shifu, Flutter, but yeah, boring one. I will think of I will choose a better one for my next favorite.
Okay, so I think that means it's my turn. I'm gonna go with Ivan Amate.
For the Hisuian Typhlosion, that's spicy.
Hisuian Typhlosion, Hisuian Lilligant.
The AV Bear is also kind of. I mean, it's like
AV Bear. I didn't even notice that.
It's one of those things. Like you're not gonna burn me because I have guts. So like.
Sure. Yeah.
It's still stupid strong.
We were. I was cooking, talking with Becca earlier, and we were like, what if you side will-o-wisp your bear. Couldn't think of a good way to do that. That's just a thought that I want to see someone do or try. But anyway, yeah. So this thing. So we have the Hisuian Typhlosion, Hisuian Lilligant, Ursaluna, Torkoal, Thundurus, and Fluttermane. Just seems like a kind of a fun, not even Sun Room. Like you're just gonna go fast with. Nope, you're not even going fast. There's no Trick Room on this, right? Am I blind? No, there's not. So
no, so you have Scary Day on Thundurus. Sorry, Scary Day, Scary Face on Thundurus, right? So that's definitely nice for speed control.
Right.
And Torkoal sets the sun, and Lilligant put things to sleep. Yeah. And your Typhlosion has Choice Scarf, so that's your speed control.
There you go. Yeah. So that just looks like a fun thing to play. It looks just off of what you think it would do, which I think is cool, because obviously we sat here confused for 15 seconds trying to find Trick Room on this. But yeah, okay. I think it's cool to have a bunch of new mons on that.
Okay, for my second one, I am going with okay, I don't even really like it, but I think it's really cool that they made this happen. Down at number 30, Yuta Takahashi actually made Chestnut work, and they're literally playing it as like it's knockoff Ferrothorn, right?
Yes.
Lefties, Body Press, Leech Seed, Spiky Shield, Iron Defense, Terra Water. What even Bulletproof is kind of useless, right? I was looking it up when I was thinking about this team a second ago. I don't see anything that it really protects you from, but I guess it's better than Overgrow because you have no grass.
Wait, isn't Fluttermane that? Like Moonblast and Shadow Ball, aren't those bullet moves?
They are not, that I can see. The list is Acid Spray, Aura Sphere, Barrage. Is that like, that's the Exeggutor thing, right? Beak Blast, so. Bullet Seed, Egg Bomb, Electro Ball, Energy Ball, Focus Blast, Gyro Ball, Ice Ball, Magnet Bomb, Mist Ball, Mud Bomb, Octazooka, Pollen Puff, Pyro Ball, Rock Blast, Rock Wrecker, Searing Shot, Seed Bomb, Shadow Ball is.
Okay.
And Sludge Bomb is as well.
What's Moon Blast? I mean, yeah.
Weather Ball, Zap Cannon. It's a blast. It's not a bullet. I don't know what to tell you.
Dang Japanese translation.
Yeah, I think it's just worse Goodra. It's definitely worse Ferrothorn. But sure. It's definitely cool to see it work. Terra Water makes this thing like pretty nice, and it does have good defensive stats for what it's worth. And you put that behind screens, you get this plays almost exactly like this might be the exact same 6 mons. The Goodra team I'm playing is these 6 mons, but Goodra over Chestnut and Rillaboom over Iron Hands. Like,
I'm trying to find what Moonblast is in Japanese. I'm sorry. I'm super paying attention to whatever you're saying. You played a team like this.
Played as a team like this. Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I think that Terra Blast on Grass Terra Heatran is also kind of.
It's Moon Force in Japanese. That's why.
Still not a bullet.
Not a bullet. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, Focus Blast is on the list. So yeah.
Well, that's because in Japanese it's Focus Bullet. So you know.
I think we've picked apart this tournament as hard as anyone ever could.
Yeah, I think so I saw one more thing I want to mention, just not deep dive.
Go for it.
23 and 24, those teams both have Regidrago.
It is dope. Regidrago hits hard. Like,
yeah, I forget that it does things because it didn't it didn't take off like I wanted it to in Swish.
In Gen 8, yeah. The big spread damage didn't do as much when Dynamax was an option, and honestly, I don't really see it taking off here either. Like, I think it'll be fine, but Fluttermane having that high of usage means that, like, just by default, there's an immunity to your Dragon Energy, and then, like, a ton of stuff goes Terra Fairy, too.
Yeah, it'll be... I feel like it'll just be mid.
Yeah.
But the fact that they're next to each other on this list, I think is funny. So, nonetheless, yeah, I agree. We have torn this tournament to shreds. Go look up any teams that like the top 32 teams here. Go look them up, see what looks fun for you if you want to play Regulation D. There's a bunch of neat options here, and the best part about this, which is the whole kind of the point of this tournament, is to see what people are doing in early Regulation D. So I think that's cool. That's all I got. We done?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
All right. Well, It has been 2 weeks since NAIC. Rowan, have you been playing anything else besides Pokemon?
I haven't been playing video games, period, honestly.
That's fair.
I play ladder on Showdown when I have time between things at work.
But your work hell is ending this week.
It is. I don't want to talk about it on here, but my situation is a lot better in that's like 3 days.
So, in next week we get to talk about other stuff, which would be super fun. Maybe.
Exactly. I'm getting ready. As of Saturday, I'm about to settle in on the Guild Wars grind for the expansion. I'm gonna grind.
That's
so I can
right.
grind
You talked
better.
about that.
It comes out next month, so I'm gotta get working on that. And then Street Fighter's still been fun, but not so much. Like I'm not taking it super seriously. Just kind of messing around with it for fun. It isn't really my fighting game, I don't think.
Sure.
I gave it a solid chance. I'm definitely gonna play the DLC. Looks good, but Pikmin 4 is coming. I think end of this month.
The 21st.
Yeah, it comes out the same day as Barbie, I think.
And Oppenheimer, yeah. It's
yeah, but
there's a meme going around with
Barbmenheimer.
Barbmenheimer, yeah, okay. It's very good though. That pick was hard.
Yeah. I am going to play that a lot. And then maybe one day I'll even finish Tears of the Kingdom. You never know.
Yeah, I've been meaning to go back to Tears of the Kingdom. I actually have not been playing a whole lot. I've been playing more Pokemon than I thought I was going to with the Draft League and making a couple of videos here and there. It's been very fun. So my other game is DaVinci Resolve. As of right now.
I did find a Game of Thrones mod for Crusader Kings, so I might pop into that too.
Okay, that could be interesting.
Sounds
Cap will like that.
Deliciously degenerate, yeah.
Well, I think that just about does it for us. I've been Harrison. You can find me on Twitch. Nope, not much, but I'm there. Twitter, Threads, Discord at Rowan_Harrison. Everywhere, pretty much. That's my name. Who are you?
Who am I? You didn't tell me who I was.
Yeah, Sheldon, who are you?
I'm Rowan. You can find me on YouTube at Rowan Hall. I have just finally got around to doing video stuff, so I have posted around the final round of the main season for the Malamar Games against Rich Rappa, who is a top cut player at Charlotte Regionals, and I am about to post a video that is just the entirety of my playoff run there as well, so we're just going to kill the Malamar Games with the next video. It is already made, it just needs to be edited together and posted. Starts off with my match against Sempra, who is a regional champion in his own right, so really cool to get to play these people. The themes are really fun. The Rich one was a Mon of each generation. The Sempra one was only Mons that debuted on a DS game. So pretty fun. It'll be really good. After that, I'm planning to go to just fun Reg D stuff, and that's when I'm going to start my cross posting with the Game Corner channel. So check out both of our channels, the Game Corner and our private ones. Gonna try to start turning stuff out now.
Maybe I'll cross post stuff with Roix
no reason not to.
And this. Yeah, maybe I'll just throw those on there. That could be interesting. I don't know what that actually does for anything.
It probably splits your views, but whatever. The videos are more of they're like a video journal of how you've played the game. I think it's fun.
So spoilers. We've talked about it 3 times now, but we're starting to post battle videos here on the channel. So if you're watching on YouTube, you're already in the right place. Hit a subscribe and like and all that fun stuff. And if you're on Spotify, go to YouTube and watch this episode again, so that you can eventually go to watch the battle videos. See, trying to get all the views. But it's fun. I've been trying to get more of those out. We don't have any sort of set schedule yet. And then I'll also be having we got my Draft League ones coming up here soon. Got a couple of videos already, and we're just trying to kind of showcase some fun stuff that's in Regulation D and just how things are going with stuff. So that's super fun. If you want to join us and follow us, all of our links are down below. We are VGC. We're the Game Corner VGC on Twitter. The Game Corner VGC on Threads. We got Patreon down there if you'd like to support us in that way, and eventually we'll get Captain's Corner stuff up there too, and other fun things. And Patreon gets all of our videos early, and by videos I mean this one. Yeah, I don't post the battle videos there because I don't know. It's all on YouTube. And of course, thank you to RobKTA and Game Chops for use of our theme song, Goldenrod Game Corner, off the Ultraball album. I think that covers all of the housekeeping, so we've been us. You can find us in places. And until you see us next time, best start and game on. Bye!